Shelter in place, day 48. Maybe you're not feeling so great. So I thought today, let's talk about grief. Woo! It is something I am well versed in and could probably talk to you about for days. It's been woven into the fabric of my life over the last 10 years since my brother died unexpectedly, and my mom died, and then my dog died. Sounds like a country music song, doesn't it? I heard somebody say once that losing somebody we love is the hardest thing that we experience as human beings. I agree. It's one of the great equalizers and a tremendous wake-up call. Though I do want to say we grieve the loss of a lot of other things too. Right now as a collective and as individuals, we're grieving the loss of a way of life and being. That's not to say it's been the best way of life and being, but we're definitely going through a change. I personally believe what's on the other side of this shift will be better, but the truth is change is hard sometimes, and this is a heavy lift right now. My friend Tommy said something on a podcast a couple weeks ago that really struck a chord with me. He said, we are all grieving the future that we thought we would have, whether it's tomorrow, next week, next month, or even next year. Word. Do you feel that? I feel it. I feel it right here. That's where it resonates with me. My approach to grief is to provide a compassionate, loving, and non-judgmental space for myself and for others. Because the one thing I have learned is that everybody does it differently. This may actually be the understatement of the century, although there are many understatements right now. Our grief journeys are as individual as we are. Maybe you've observed that too and thought, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get that person and what they're doing. That's okay. You're not meant to get everybody. It's not a requirement for living. This is a time to practice as much kindness and compassion and empathy as you can, though. Expand that space of non-judgment, because as within, so without. A lot of what you see is people's inside world and state of being expressing and showing itself externally. The truth comes out. So if you pay close attention, you can't miss it and you'll see what's truly going on. And really that's in the individual microcosm and the collective macrocosm. Understanding is a superpower of the best kind. We are in fast shift right now. And many people in the world are actually grieving the loss of human life and someone that they love in the midst of this pandemic. I think that really adds to our collective sadness because everything is energy and we're feeling it. It's devastatingly hard, as I know from my own experiences, and I know some of you do too. So I'm sending love to everybody that's going through it right now and to all of you. Life is a series of death and rebirth cycles. Aside from the little literal one, which is we are born and we die, we all go through different phases in our lives where things die and are reborn. Experiences, relationships, careers, roles, lots of internal stuff. The list goes on and on. There's so much to learn in each incarnation. And right now in the midst of some grieving that we're doing, we're also shedding layers. So see the gift in that. Release the excess, the burden, the stuff that's not working for you. Let that shit go. That is something that happened to me every time I experienced a significant loss, because the lens on life becomes crystal clear in some ways, and we have to make adjustments based on what's not working anymore and move towards what is. It's all good. The soul purpose gets even more fine-tuned if you're listening and paying attention. I believe that grief and optimism absolutely coexist, and there is light and dark in everything. Dark night of the soul, Shiro's journey, I have gone through both. Delving into my shadow side and facing all my fears has ultimately transformed my life. It's meant to when we're not afraid to go there. Sometimes the universe nudges us along and sometimes pushes us headfirst into the abyss when we didn't even see it coming. I'm not afraid of grief. I embrace it wholeheartedly and I step fully into it. I go there with myself and I will go there with you. I think it's something that we don't talk about enough and we push way too much under the rug. This is a part of the experience of being human and we need to go through the process of it. That's really imperative for healing. When I say it's woven into the fabric of my life and who I am forever now, it's something that I think sometimes scares and triggers people who are not as willing to step into it and they feel that I haven't moved on with my life or I'm not processed enough in it, but that's not it. That's not what I'm saying. Grieving doesn't mean that you're always sad or depressed, and it doesn't mean you're not moving on with your life or experiencing good things and joy. It's just a way of being that has fundamentally changed you and the lens in which you look at life through. Grief, just like life, is a very nonlinear journey. So I'm embracing it. I would encourage you to do the same. I'm riding the waves and being as present as possible to every moment. And I let it transform me. Ultimately, through all of it, I am an optimist and I believe that hope springs eternal. This life is made for living. Sometimes we do have to confront our shadow side, the darkness, to experience loss, and subsequently the grief that follows, in order to transform and transmute into something more meaningful and substantial. That's part of the human experience, and that is truly where the power lies, not in the denial that these things exist. As I said in an earlier video, the key is not to get stuck and stagnate on the yuck. Feel your feelings and express, hopefully in a healthy and productive way. Some of my faves: scream therapy, crazy laugh therapy, martini therapy, friend therapy, crying therapy, swearing like a motherfucker therapy, swimming, dancing, and running therapy. So whatever works, find your jam. I believe that when we're truly aligned and we do our work and we're pure in heart and intention, the light always overcomes the dark. I posted the link on Anderson Cooper's new baby a couple days ago, and to me, his story is the epitome of everything that I'm saying right now. Living through the dark, traveling through the tunnel of grief to find the light, and at the end of the tunnel is this beautiful and new life, a baby boy. It's such a touching video. If you haven't watched it, do. I can relate to so much of what he's saying, and I'm truly, truly so happy for him. What a gift he's giving us by sharing his life, his experience, his journey, his growth, really his overall transformation, and now his beautiful son. So do the work, feel the feelings, and nurture the light from within. Remember, even when it feels like it's dimming and flickering, it never goes out. Sometimes it's got to rest, but it never goes out. Love that light because it is the thread of the soul that is divine and eternal. It lives in you, just like it lives in those who have recently transitioned out of this human experience. Turn up the volume on what is working in your life, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what makes you laugh. Pay attention to the little things. Breathe in gratitude and breathe out love. Love is always the way. And you know it. I am sending you love and lots of light today.